Hi, I'm Diane McGarry. With me today are my husband, Tom McGarry, and Ron Zimmerman, one of the competition judges and the operations manager at Dracut Arts, and ASL interpreter, Shelley. Our second annual preliminary competition for the International Children's Exhibition of Fine Arts has closed. Unfortunately, we did not get submissions of high enough quality to have winners. We'd like to take this time to really acquaint you with our competition. Since we think of this as a preliminary competition for an international children's competition, we've been calling it an annual preliminary competition, but this has confused some people. So we're going to change the name. It's now going to be called Dracut Arts Children's Competition. Our winners will still be sent to an international competition that takes place in Lidice, the Czech Republic. The Czech Republic is also known as Czechia, formerly known as Bohemia. It is landlocked in Central Europe, and let me show you a map of where that is. Here, oops, that's not what I wanted to show. I wanted to show you this. There we go. It is landlocked in Central Europe. Where am I? Austria to the south, Germany to the west, Poland to the northeast, and Slovakia to the east. The Czech Republic has a hilly landscape with a mostly temperate continental and oceanic climate. It covers around 78,000 square kilometers, and that makes it almost as big as the state of Maine. You may be familiar with Czechoslovakia, which was made up of the historic lands of Bohemia, Moravia, and Slovakia. Czechoslovakia was formed in 1918 at the end of World War I from several provinces of a collapsing Austria-Hungary Empire. Between World War I and World War II, Czechoslovakia became a most prosperous and politically stable state in Eastern Europe. It was occupied by Nazi Germany in 1938 to 45 and was under Soviet dominion from 1948 to 1989. In January 1st of 1993, Czechoslovakia separated peacefully into two countries, the Czech Republic and Slovakia. Our daughter was in Prague, the capital of Chechnya, or the Czech Republic, teaching English as a foreign language a few years ago. When we went to visit her, among the things we saw were wonderful art exhibits with the works of the International Children's Exhibition of Fine Arts winners. ICEFA, as it's also known, artworks were watercolors, tempera paintings, ink drawings, pastel and crayon drawings, printings, ceramics, photographs, mixed media pieces, and multimedia films, all done by children from nearby places in Chechnya and other countries. It was at that moment that we decided to give greater Dracut area children the opportunity to enter this international competition. After all, it's not only based on art, it's also based on history, as ICEFA started in response to the damage done by war. In 1967, ICEFA was established to commemorate the child victims of the Czech Republic, of the Czech village of Lidice, who were murdered by German Nazis. After a few years of existence, the goal was expanded to include all children who have died in wars, no matter when or where those wars were fought. Another change occurred in 1973, when this originally national exhibition became an international one. Since then, it has become well known among children and teachers, not only in the Czech Republic, but literally all over the world. We want to make sure that the greater Dracut community is among those who know about this competition and their commemoration of child victims of war. Art is important for the human soul, so is history, so are compassion and sympathy. We will continue to keep these things in mind, and so Dracut Arts brings you Dracut Arts Children's Competition. We will always send our winners to the international level in Lidice, Czechia. So what do some of these artworks look like? We thought we'd share some so you'd have an idea of what we're looking for. Ron, would you mind starting and showing us some of the winning videos?
Sure. Let me share my screen. I picked out some of the film clips that were the winners. And I mean, I will say that all of the ones I looked at, and I did not look at every single one, but all the ones that I did look at were superb, were excellent. So it was really hard to, you know, to just pick 3 or 4, but I'll show you the ones I picked. Let me share my screen. Oh, I think I got this now. Let's see, got this. So I'll start with the top one, which is called I Think. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce some of these kids' names. Full screen.
Does this have sound?
Yep.
So we're not hearing the sound, Ron. Sometimes you have to fiddle with Zoom controls to share the sound.
It's not muted. It's just,
Oh, wow.
it's,
That was really cute, especially the way the face is transformed.
yeah, I mean, it's a it's obviously a short film, and I don't know how much of it you saw at the beginning, but it was supposed to be about, I guess, this chess player who went up against a computer, and the computer won. So I think it's sort of a very symbolic animated film, and I won't pretend to know that I totally understood all of the symbolic content in it, but you know, if you watch it, it's got the obviously the human player, and then the robot, which is represented by a humanoid, but without many features and robotic arms. And at the end of it, after apparently the robot wins, and then you see the what looks like some live footage of like a TV channel clicker, and it clicks, and then it looks like the features on the human disappear, so that it resembles you know, just a sort of a blank figure. So I think a lot of it is, you know, probably about this whole idea of, you know, the dehumanization of a person by the machine, by virtue of the fact that the machine won. At least that's how I interpreted it. I mean, the filmmakers may say, "Oh, you wrong," completely off base, but that's kind of what I got out of it.
That's nice. Can you show us another? Can you turn your sound up, Ron?
No, let's see what's. Oops. It's up, turned up all the way.
I love that sneaker.
Yeah, so that was called Blue Pyramid. Very interesting little short film. Again, all of these are, it's amazing how young, I want to say the young adult who made that was 16 or something, which is unbelievable. Is again, it's you know, full of symbolism and meaning. I will say what it really attracted me to was it's based on a Ray Bradbury short story, which is really cool. And I'm a huge fan of Ray Bradbury. So certainly there was a biased attraction, if you will, to this short. That said, I will say I'm not familiar with the short story. I did look it up, and it was one that I don't think I've read. It was written in the late 40s, I want to say. So it was one of his earlier works. But from the cartoon, it, you know, it I think you kind of get the idea behind it, and you know, some kind of future world where I guess they have children by going through this machine that, you know, helps with the birthing process. I think in the description of the short story, somehow it's reaching into some sort of other dimension or something like that. Obviously there's a mistake made, and they get this sort of pyramid shaped being instead of a child. And then at the end, of course, you see, you know, as they try to figure out how to change the being, you know, back into a human baby. You know, the parents go into the machine and they get transformed into the same type of being as the child. And once again, you know, they're very happy, and they in their eyes they see, you know, the rest of the world, you know, as these beings, while, you know, in the real world they see them as these sort of pyramid shaped creatures. And but I think the point of it is the idea of family and the togetherness and the love, and that, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, what they look like, they have each other. And so I think it was very effective, and I love the style that was done in this almost kind of childlike, you know, painting with a lot of primary colors and everything. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Ron. Tom, could you show us some of the winners that you liked?
Sure. Let's see if I can get there. So can you see that? This is from the exhibition. Yeah. So I found a few pictures of the exhibition itself, and I just really enjoyed this one because it shows the varying levels of, I guess, technical skill, but the fact that the one on the right, the foam thing with the wires and whatnot, is still very effective at portraying a robot, while some of the other ones are more polished in how they were constructed. But everybody could participate and everybody could have fun, I think was what I got out of it. So here's a portrayal of a robot chicken, which is very effective. It looks like somebody, the artist used a remote control of some kind as the front of the chicken, and I just found it to be fun, simple, and charming. This was a little more sophisticated, very interesting human face, but the fact that part of it is missing and the neck is all mechanical. The body is kind of indeterminate, whether it's mechanical or human body parts. So the contrast between the two is quite effective, and the use of the grayscale and the brown sets off the human flesh tones, but also kind of gives a somewhat somber mood to the piece. So I just found this very striking, more in an artistic sense. Let's see. Need to move down slightly. Okay.
Oh, wow.
This was, I don't know, just a really good drawing by a young person of what goes on in a human head. And they are kind of showing that it is increasingly mechanical. So the little SOS, at the very bottom, you might see RUR. So the word robot actually comes from a Czech story long ago, Rasim's Universal Robots. So here, the influence of robots, and picture of the little robot and all the gears and everything, portray the existence of robots and the effect on human society. Plus, it was just a fun collection of small images. This was a little more scary. It portrays to me both power and maybe menace. It's a little unclear, of course. Many artistic pieces do. You, the viewer, have to decide. But it was not. It just seems very powerful, especially with the gray in front and the pink in back, so that it's a contrast between something slightly menacing and something just kind of benevolent. Here is another one with mixed human and mechanical parts. Here at first it's kind of scary, but if you look at it long enough, it just becomes a kind of person, a very unusual person. And being done in black and gray and white gives it a whole different feeling. If anybody else has any comments as we go along, I would welcome your reaction to these pieces. This is something probably my son could have drawn when he was younger. So he's got a lot of, well, young boy energy in portraying a mechanical man. This I really liked. If you look carefully, I'm familiar with a few of the historic paintings that are portrayed.
Yeah.
So there's, I think there's a Last Supper, that's O Nami, or Great Wave by, forget the Japanese artist, but he did 100 views of Mount Fuji. And if you look in the background, you can just barely see Mount Fuji. So I recognize that I've seen several of these other pictures before in their human being generated form. Here, the crowd on the bottom is kind of half human, half mechanical. They're all enjoying all of these pieces, and the I don't know, I just found it very pretty as well as thought provoking. I don't know if anybody else.
No, I love that they have like the Mona Lisa and Van Gogh. So they're showing really human masters.
Yes.
Right. But they're twisting them a little bit to make them in a different way, to show us, to expand our thinking about robots and humanity. It's
what kind of art would robots appreciate?
Right. What would they make?
Yes. This was just fun. I like the expression. It's sort of like a cricket. It's nicely asymmetrical, made up from spare parts, and the mouth making kind of not quite a smile, kind of a slight grimace, but unclear what it is. So it may be, I don't know, think.
What I like about the robots that they use is a lot of discarded pieces, right?
Yes.
Even with the chicken you had before, it was probably a milk container or something like that.
Yes. One of our sculptors in the past specializes in found and discarded objects. So
Right.
This has kind of that same feeling to a certain extent. This was really nice. I can't tell what it's made of, but kind of a mechanical owl made out of maybe recycled cans with the edges cut to look like feathers.
Yeah.
And it's very owl-like, but also very shiny and pretty.
Well, and then there's the color, right? The copper wire.
Yes.
And then you've got this little orange bird on the side.
Yes.
Which is cool.
This one is probably my favorite from the Robot Year exposition. So there's a very cute little robot. And of course, he's holding a flower, and he's holding a little recycling bag in his left hand. He has treads instead of feet. And the expression is just very cute. But also this makes you think, would robots like flowers? Would robots recycle? So it was both cute and kind of a striking image, but also thoughtful. This is a photograph of a person taking a photograph. So they're probably looking into the mirror. And of course, if you look carefully, you can see the receding reflection of the person and the phone, and within that, the picture of the person in the phone, and within that, the picture of the person in the phone. And I like the way the young person's hair just goes up all over the place. So it's, I don't know, just a fun and interesting way to portray something, and fits in with the theme of the year, which is robots and artificial intelligence. Let's see if I have a couple other. This looks like, to me, sort of an American Gothic theme, but the thing in the background is almost like a cockroach or a cricket or a locust. And the people are really paying no attention. It's just there. It's just some kind of harvesting machine, though clearly mechanical and maybe just a giant robot. And a couple more.
That's one of my favorites. I love this.
Yeah, I like the mustache.
Yeah, the whimsy of that. And that's just, you find those on socks, right? When you take your socks from the store and you cut off that little hook to,
Yes.
and the fact that there's just 3 colors, right? The silver, the black of the mustache, but then those 6 red buttons.
Yeah. Yeah. So very cute. And again, reuse of discarded or found stuff, a little asymmetrical, somehow still portraying, well, almost an intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah. So we should wrap this up now, sweetie.
Okay.
Jazz band.
Robot band busking, a combination of robot and organic. And this might, and
Oh, I love this one.
yeah, nice feeling. You're a little bit scary, think about the consequences. And I think that was it. So those were the ones that I found particularly evocative.
Great, thank you. You can stop sharing now.
There we go.
Cool. Thank you very much, Tom and Ron, for showing us some examples of the types of art we're looking for, the creativity, and those were all different levels and ages of children too. So thank you for watching this art gallery today. We hope that you've been inspired to participate in next year's Dracut Arts Children's Competition. The competition is open to all children ages 4 to 16. There's no age limit for handicapped people. All types of art are accepted, from drawings to photography to animation to sculpture. We accept entries every summer up until October. So keep your eye out next summer for next year's theme and for where and how to turn in your entries. We look forward to receiving them. We'd also like to thank our sponsors. Tommy, do you have our sponsors for me?
I might have it if I.
Mary Ann Dornice Goldman, Lois Welber, Blue Shutter Web Design, Diane's Song, the Massachusetts Cultural Council. Oh, good. As administered by the Billerica, Chelmsford, Dracut, and Tewksbury Cultural Councils, and the Cultural Investment Portfolio Project. Thank you very much. And we look forward to a more productive year next year with the Dracut Children's Art Competition.